Rosie. Rosie. Shout out to Rosie, the first one here. Awesomeness. Give everybody a few moments. Samantha. Hello, Mary. Shout out to all the members. Hello, Karen. Hello, Mickey. Hey, Mickey, you so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Huh, there we go. Hello, Renee. All right. We fix get started. Do. All right, here's the thing. Just for those that are quiet and not involved in the chat, for newcomers, for anybody that don't know me, I am Tony Myers, and today I am going to talk about something that people profess knowledge of, but they really don't have this knowledge yet. And that's you're healed through the spirit inside of you, first, foremost, and always. It is not coming out of the heavens somewhere. It is not coming from the person speaking over you. It is from the inside. Healing isn't something that you fight for, that you beg for, that you try to get. Try to get be an operative word. Y'all that have been around for a while know I live by Romans 8:11, which I paraphrase. The Holy Spirit is giving life to my body. It comes from the inside. And hopefully, in today's teaching, that will reinforce that for y'all. Maybe some light bulbs will go off. It starts inside of you, in your spirit, where you're already whole. Okay, y'all already whole. So we're going to break through the fear and hopefully change how you see healing and stir up what's already in you. It's just a matter of honestly letting the Holy Spirit flow through you. Healing doesn't start in the flesh. Hello, Allison. Yo, bro. What's going on, Wes? All right. So here's the main truth of it all. Okay? Healing doesn't start in the flesh. It starts in the spirit. It starts in the unseen, which is a realm of itself, where identity, belief, and life itself are born. All right? That's the first part. Everything is born from within, and it's already there. Physical sickness is simply, and I don't even 100% agree with this to a degree, but it's a sign of brokenness. On the inside, it's a sign simply that we're not led with the spirit of life does naturally flow. That's really what it boils down to. And this, I'm going to say this is point one. But healing happens when you align yourself with life. Who is life? The Holy Spirit, the Spirit of life. Where is He? In each and every person. And I promise I ain't going to get off on that tangent. Yes, every single person talked about this. Was it last week or the week before? The Spirit, God, put His Spirit into mankind. Every single living person has God's Spirit in him in spite of what your religiousness says. Okay? I'm not going to get off on that tangent. Go to last week's live stream. I think it was last Monday. And go over that. Because I bring out all the points. Instead of looking for Zeus in the sky to come down. Hello? What does so many churches say? Come, Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. It's already in you. Why are you singing that stupid, nonsensical song? Okay, but I'm going to stay away from the rabbit trail. He's already in you. All we're doing is aligning with what the Holy Spirit already does. Is simply allowing the Holy Spirit to flow unobstructed through belief, identity, and surrender. Instead, and when I say surrender, I mean you let the truth flow through you, what's already true. And that comes from knowing your identity. That you are already whole, that you are already righteous, you are the righteousness of God. And I gave a teaching on that 2 or 3 weeks ago. Ain't this pretty cool? I've already taught all the little rabbit holes. Are you with me? So when it starts within, what slows it down, and I started talking about this, is your focus thinking that it comes from the outside to your body. This is physical thinking, and you're trying to get rid of symptoms. Okay? That itself disrupts the Holy Spirit. Because when you obsess over symptoms, what you focus on is where the energy flows. It's what you grow, it's what you're feeding. Exactly right. Eric said it right there. And so it isn't trying to get healed. It's having your healing. I have said that for 10 plus years. Quit trying to get healed and have your healing. You can't have your healing when you are obsessing over the symptoms, because then that's what you're growing. If you are looking to trying to get rid of the symptoms, if you're looking to try to get healed, then your focus is not what I want to say. I want to come up with a fancy word. Is not in line with what God is thinking. God is not thinking, Tony, try to get healed. Tony, try to get the pain to leave. There's very, very few times in scriptures that, in fact, you will find zero examples when Jesus said, the way everybody teaches it, all right, pain, leave. Show me where Jesus went to the symptom and talked to the symptom. He did not. Okay? He never did. So why are we teaching that? You focus on the spirit, the inner man, which brings peace, trust, healing, and it flows naturally. At the end of this, I'm going to ask y'all a couple of questions. Every time, and anyone who has been healed, they will have to respond that they felt peace first. And I prove that every single day when somebody calls me on the phone. Because when I ask, are you feeling better? And they reply, oh, I'm just at extreme peace. Then I know right then. Because that's when you're letting the spirit flow. But when you bring all the negative talk, the regular thinking, and you're trying to get healed, and you're trying to get God to heal you, and all of that, you're disrupting the flow of the Holy Spirit. We're not trying to get healed. All right? We're allowing wholeness to express itself. I'll say that again. We're allowing wholeness to express itself because it's already within us. When you take the focus off of the outside world and focus on the inner man who is completely whole, who is joined with the Holy Spirit, then guess what? It flows naturally with no stress, strain, or worries. You cannot show me anyone that's been healed and are still thinking the same thoughts as they did before they were healed. You cannot show me anyone that's been healed that is not at peace. And I'm talking about when the healing happens. And when it happens, there's never striving for it. There's always peace. And that's the truth. Those words, you're trying to get healed. They fan the flames of death. Now, so what's the solution? I've already given you the solution. What is spirit? Part of the spiritual realm is your imagination. And we've talked about this many, many times. When you see yourself healed, see the imagination, the envisioning, all of that is a realm unto itself. It's the realm for creation. It is the spiritual realm. That's why God created you with an imagination, which I know you'll find a lot of teachings on this. I've done a lot of teachings on it. Eric talks about it often as well. The imagination is where you create the foundation for your physical existence. Remember that. The imagination is, say that 2 times real quick. That is where you create the foundation, the framework for what you experience in the physical world. Therefore, if you think healing's coming from the physical world, including from another person, then guess what will happen? Nada enchiladas. In English, that means nothing. All right? Get rid of the idea that you're trying to get healed. You are healed. And you can honestly say that when you see it in the spirit. Because then you've already experienced it and it doesn't sound like a lie anymore. If it sounds like a lie, it is a lie. I'm going to be crystal blunt. If you have to add something to the statement, I'm healed, then guess what? Well, I'm healed in the great by and by. I'm healed in the spirit. Or the infamous, I'm healed. When I die, I'll be complete. You don't need the provision of healing when you're dead. All right? Now, this is something I want y'all, anyone that's listening, I want to ask you 3 questions. And I want you to write down the answer. I'm not even going to tell you what the right answers are. Have you ever experienced peace first before seeing healing? I actually already answered that one. These are just thinking points. Okay? And if you want to make a comment about them, that's fine too. This is a tricky question. What part of your healing journey has felt the most spiritual so far? That should be interesting because many people confuse religious with spiritual. And so you're bound to say some sort of something. The last one. What would happen if you focused only on wholeness inside and ignored symptoms? Which y'all know how I feel about that. It's not ignoring because you've experienced the truth in the spirit. So therefore, you're looking past the symptoms because you've already experienced your healing. That's what the visualization is. And I've talked about before how the prophets were known as seers. And when they spoke in words that it had already happened because they saw it in the spirit first. They did not have to see it in the physical. And so anytime you are healed, that's exactly what you did. And healing, because the Holy Spirit's inside of you, is a natural reaction. It cannot be forced. If you're trying to force healing, then it's you stopping it. What did I do? A thumbs up. There we go. So, and nobody got no questions yet. Anybody got any questions? Mary, Rosie, Samantha. I'm waiting. Okay. I speak that y'all perceive it. Exactly right. That happens, Rita, because healing is natural because the Holy Spirit's in you. The symptoms will leave. That's why I bring up the paper cut all the time. Even when you still feel pain in your mind, it's healed. You're not worried about it. So what happens? It heals. Now, what would happen, for instance, a hypochondriac that's worried about it? So they sit there and with the paper cut, play with it all the time. What happens? It gets infected. And then they have to have their finger cut off. That's the same thing we do. We focus on the symptom. We worry about the symptom. So we are constantly aggravating it, just like with a paper cut. And if you constantly aggravate it, it'll get infected. That's what we do to ourselves. And we don't even realize it, especially when something we consider big, like, hello, congestive heart failure. And you sit there. If I would have listened to that darn heart doctor, I would have been dead. Oh, you need a heart transplant. Oh, you need this, you need that. And I got none of the above. The only thing I got was the pacemaker, which will disintegrate. This is key. And y'all may think this is a short teaching, but it's everything you need to know in a nutshell. It really, seriously is. When you adapt, Romans 8:11, the Holy Spirit is giving life to my body. And I see myself as healed, then that has to happen. We use the imagination as a fictional place that we, quote unquote, just make up. That's the problem with our Western culture. The Israelites did not see it that way. The ancient prophets did not see it that way. They saw visualization, the imagination, to be part of the spiritual realm. And what you saw in there was the true experience. Therefore, they did not need to see it. Elijah did not need to see the cloud. That's why he sent his servant, for his servant's sake. He already saw it. He knew it was there. And like I said, once you see it in the spirit, you have experienced it, then it has no choice but to happen. It doesn't have to be precise. Proof in the pudding, Samantha. Rita just knows yesterday and didn't even realize it left. I could give hundreds of thousands testimonies where the person had been healed long before they ever recognized it. Healing is automatic. The problem is we don't recognize we're healed because we're focused on the symptoms. And Rita even makes that statement there. Okay? I don't even know when it left. I wasn't focused on that one, right? She was worried about all the others. Okay. Then Samantha, then why can't our faith, our belief, trump someone else's lost identity? It absolutely does. But once again, the person doesn't recognize it. I have, and I've said this before, the energy is automatically transferred. That's why, Samantha, when I minister the way I do so I can get people to recognize and acknowledge that they're healed. Okay? That's the way to put it. They don't believe they're healed. I've given the testimony before. It's in one of my books. I think Unlocking. And this has happened many occasions. I have seen the person's hand move. The one I use a lot, it was a woman. Fast stroke, her arm was clutched to her chest. But once I spoke over her, she started moving it while she was talking. She literally did not see it. She thought her arm was still like that. But it's when I pointed out to her that she was able to see it. But I had to convince the woman her arm was moving. And this is why. And this is why I minister the way I do. I'm sorry. I know Andrew Womack, Curry Blake, and most other people, and you say you speak to the symptom, then what are you doing? You're drawing that person's mind to the symptom. They teach them, and then they ask, so how's the pain? That's the worst thing you can do. The absolute worst thing you can do. All right. So whether I'm over the phone, in person, whatever, a lot of times Holy Spirit will tell me what's wrong with the person. Sometimes they will. And it just depends upon the person. But I guarantee sometime within our conversation, I'll be like, move your arm. Is it more mobile? Is it more comfortable? Is there improvement? Normally I ask them one of those questions. And I demand the answer right now. Yes or no, right now. And that's why I minister to people. That puts their mind in the right place. Now they're starting to see themselves as healed. Anyone, any and everyone. There's only been a handful of times there's been no improvement. But then by the time I'm done with them, they've had some sort of improvement. I'm walking them through it without them even realizing it. I am getting their mind in the right place so they can acknowledge that they're healed. A couple weeks ago, a woman was bedridden. I don't know how long it's been since she's actually been up. By the end of our conversation, she was up and walking. Everything comes from inside that person. And just because they aren't acknowledging it, that's why a lot of times people acknowledge it just like Rita. It'll be at a later date. They don't even know when it happened. because something happened that got them to acknowledge it. It was there the whole time. The healing is always there. I know I can be healed from anything right now. Now, sometimes there's a struggle, and I have been transparent about the deal with my heart and my breathing. But that's, once again, it's the mindset. And once we see it in the spirit, it should be done and over. Always good question, Samantha. All right, any more questions? This is why I so want to get people to meditate and to visualize, see themselves healed, experience it in your mind's eye, and things will change. Now, if you look at it as fiction, then it's fiction. If you think, oh, I'm only daydreaming, okay, you're not acknowledging it. Any more questions? And I love y'all. When we know healing's always flowing, when we know our identity. Mary had a question above. What was your question? How do you feel the Holy Spirit inside? Why do you have to feel the Holy Spirit inside? Hi, Will. That's Linda. Hi. We'll catch the replay. Okay. What was it again? Oh, how do you feel the Holy Spirit inside? Why do you need to? Yes, I'm being a little smarty pants with that response. If you stress yourself about wanting to feel the Holy Spirit, just like healing, if you're striving, if you're trying to make it happen, then you're not going to feel a blasted thing because that's you trying to force it. I will guarantee throughout the day, you get different sensations that you overlook and rationalize away, but it's actually the Holy Spirit. But because you're striving and you want it to feel a certain way, you miss it. Why, once again, we so want the Holy Spirit, who is a spirit, we want to see him, touch him, taste him, feel him in the physical world. Why? If we backed off from that a little bit and just take it for granted that he's there, I will guarantee you will feel him more. I feel him. I don't try to. I don't feel the need to. Once again, when you're stressing about it, that's your carnal mind. And the carnality of your body cannot experience the spirit. Impossibility. And so, what you need to do is not worry about it. And once again, like I say, for the Holy Spirit speaking to us, we put that on ourselves. Well, I'm not hearing the Holy Spirit say anything. What am I doing wrong? What can I do? The Holy Spirit knows how to communicate with his creation. We turn around and point the fingers at ourselves and become self-centered, selfishness. What am I doing wrong? The Holy Spirit knows how to connect with you. And most time what you think is yourself is the Holy Spirit. But we get stressed out about and everything else. That's just like how all these famous prophets and all, they have to enunciate. And God said to me in an audible voice out loud, so that you make sure you know that he's got something you ain't. Because, oh, I ain't never heard him audible. Why do you need to? I'm the prophet, and I hear God's audible voice all the time. And God told me, well, son, man, why do you need to hear his audible voice? Because you don't trust that he communicates with you. Let it happen and flow naturally. Since he is within you, you're hearing from him at times, and you don't think you are. But the more sensitive you become, then it'll just happen. But once again, why do you have to hear his audible voice? You're one with him, he's one with you. You have communication with him whether you believe it or not. Is this helping anyone? If it ain't helping no one, let's go night-night. Somebody give me an oh me, oh my. Something. Wake up, Eric. Yes, I know. I always pick on Eric. Oh, Eric. CJ says that Canada's going to become 51 first state. That's what CJ says. All right. Okay, now I'm going to ask, what does that mean? Is that good or bad? If we just let it flow. That's why I bring up how God created the earth to heal us. That's how available healing is. The problem is we're not acknowledging it. And we put ourselves under so much stress, strain, and worry, and we're trying to get healed. And we put this a little different. Start walking in what we already have. We are a country for 150 years. Y'all are babies. Y'all still need a parent. Come on over to the U.S. Only 150 years old? Geez, no wonder. Trump recognizes y'all need a parent to spank y'all's little behinds. All right. I'm trying to think. Let me ask y'all this. If no one answers, the answer is no. So somebody's got to answer. No, y'all need a responsible parent, like the U.S. Oh, stuck my foot in my mouth. Okay. Does anyone want to know the symbolism of this tattoo? I'm going to give a minute. If y'all don't want to know, then I can tell you. CJ's there falling asleep. Sure. We got one yes. Because it sure is just a, well, sure. Well, whatever. Okay. All right. This is the foundational card, the strength and courage card. Okay. Which you notice the lion. Who's the lion of the tribe of Judah? Jesus. Okay. Who is together for infinity? You can't see the affinity mark. Let's see. Can you see it there? Yeah, right there. All right. That's the foundation card. So, through Jesus, I had the strength and courage okay. This is the devil card, which means addictions, trials, hardships. Okay. So, because the foundational having Jesus with me, I overcame my addictions and the darkness that surrounded me through the inner wisdom. This is the magician card. All right. Which power, influence, resourcefulness, skill, ability, right? And that's all through Jesus, right? And with that, yeah. Okay, there's that one, that one, that one. This is the death card right here. Some of it's green, so no, they're tarot cards, but they're symbols. There's and I had this discussion already. I ain't gonna get into it tonight. So with the inner wisdom and strength and abilities from Jesus, I was able to overcome death, right? Which that also means a new beginning. And you notice right above that, I have the wheelchair. Actually, I forgot the Fool, which is right there, which means innocence, trust, faith. So it was through that inner wisdom with an innocence and faith that I overcame death and had a newness of life. Right? The death card just simply means an ending of things. Now, in my case, it did mean a physical death twice. Okay? And then you have the High Priestess card, which is very simply creativity, fertility, higher power, and all of that, in which I was able to overcome to have eternal hope. That there is no circumstance too big when I have Jesus. That is a very short rendition. And yes, I agree. Okay. And here's the thing for anyone. It's a heart motivation. If these cards mean something else to you, then I'm going to put it bluntly. That's your problem. I didn't put these on my arm. They're on my arm for me. If you want to enjoy them with me, then that's the meaning. If you want to say they're evil, then they're evil for you. Don't look at them. All right. Pretty simple. I hadn't even gotten into my cosmos. As I pointed out, these are symbols, and they are full of Christian symbols. So I will get into, of course, with this one, about the Holy Spirit in the form of a dove, trust in God. I've got my cross, but I'll get into that some other time. All right. Anybody got anything? And I still got, the only thing I got left now is filler. Then I'll be done. Fill the blank areas. So, correct. That's what I said. Yeah, who are we wanting to win, Eric? Who do we want to win the elections? Give me a name. Or a party's name, or however. Give us something. What you got for us, Eric? So, conservative. So, we're speaking conservatives win. Pierre? Is it a Pierre? All right. Well, let's just speak right now. We speak that the conservative, if it's Mr. Pierre Pavarotti, Pierre Polly River. Everybody vote for him. Let him win like Trump won. There you go. All right. Any more questions, statements, comments? Polygon cracker? Polygon cracker? Gotcha. Polygon cracker is how you phonetically say it. Gotcha. Polygon cracker? All right. It's heart motive. Is all about the heart motive, how you view it. Because God created everything to be good. God is, and actually, even in scriptures, what did God say in scriptures? He pointed Abraham to the stars in the sky. He used the sky and said there would be signs in the skies. All throughout, you can look through so many of the Old Testament books and see it. Nothing is inherently evil. It's our heart motive behind it. And if Christians would realize that, and that is why I always use that verse in Titus 1:15. To them who are pure, all things are pure. But to them with a corrupted heart, guess what? Everything's corrupt. Look that verse up. I got accused of using it out of text, but a couple weeks ago, once again, I went back and read the text beforehand, and I'm not taking it out of context. It is all this is religion. I want to say this is good and this is evil. Tarot cards are simply cards with pictures on them. They are neither good nor evil. What makes them good or evil is your perception of it and how you use them. If you use them in an occultish way, which would mean your mind was corrupted. And it's the same goes, I don't care, same goes for Halloween, same goes for whatever. It's not inherently evil. What's inherently evil is the way you look at it. If I look at something as evil and then I partake in it in that way, then yes, I'm guilty. But if I see it as good, then guess what? It is good. They are cards. They have no power. Once again, who did God give authority of the earth to? We are the sons of dominion. And that's the problem. And that's what the quote unquote fall, it made us see in terms of good and evil. God saw his creation and it was good. It was man. That had a duplicit mindset and then saw God as both good and evil. Okay? That's where it is. So, where somebody sees this as evil, that's their corrupted heart thinking that. Okay? I don't see evil in them. If I saw evil in them, they wouldn't be on my arm. And if you point at me and think I'm evil because I've got cards, guess what? You're pointing a finger at yourself. This is all truth. And that's the thing. Yeah, it says it right there. Eric put it up there. Do not judge, or you will be judged. For the same judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. So guess what? It says it all right there. All right. Thank you for those posts. Boy, you had all 4 monitors running there, didn't you? You had them all going. All right. You know, and that's the thing. There's nothing inherently evil. In fact, God says it's all good. It is from our corrupt hearts that evil flows. Why? Because we have claimed the false identity. Yes, we are planning on being on tomorrow. That is, yes. So, with that, if there's no further questions, statements, or comments, be blessed, be healed, and be a blessing.